Welcome to the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Here is your host, Jenny Jones.
Hey, this is your host, Jenny Jones. I am here with the Digital Growth Hacks Club. Hey, listen, I have the founder of CrawlIQ here. This guy is hard to catch up with. I wish I can use his own tool to catch up with him, but I was finally able to link up with him, and you're going to find out why. It was very important and very imperative that I caught up with him. So this is Harsh Kumar from CrawlIQ. .ai, and I want him to break down some things about his tool. His tool is eluding a lot of people, and I want him to come and share some things. And I want to pick his brain because I think a lot of people need to know about this tool. They just don't, right? So I wanted him to come. Listen, Harish, welcome to the show. Is it all right if I call you Kumar or?
Harish, you can call me Jenny, Harish.
All right, I'll call you Harish. I don't want to mess that up, right?
So no, it's Harish.
So, hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure, Jenny. And I think we are talking now second time, and things have evolved a lot from that time and now. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you. And it's my absolute pleasure to talk about what CrawlQ and perception and how it can help people. So shoot your questions.
Yeah. So no, I have been trying to nail you down because your tool, when I first was exposed to your tool, and I want you as an overview, can you give us about a 30-second commercial of what your tool does? I'm going to tell you what I think it does, and I want you to come back and say, okay, Jenny, I think you're partially right or whatever. So for my audience, right, I have different levels of audience. I have some beginning entrepreneurs, I have some in the middle, and then I have some advanced entrepreneurs that are looking for a hack, looking for an edge, looking for something that's going to allow them to separate themselves from their competitors and be able to deliver some value to their clients. And I want us to touch all three of those. But what I want to do is start with the people that have no idea who CrawlIQ is. They said, where did CrawlIQ come from? Was it underneath a rock? Where did they crawl from? What I think CrawlIQ is, and I'll tell you in like 5 seconds, what I think CrawlIQ is, I think it's a tool that every marketer should have, right? Every marketer should have this tool. And there's a reason why, and I'm going to see if you can kind of fill that in for me, but every marketer should have this tool. And I was speaking with my friend, Chris. We talk a lot, and he's like, man, I can't believe a lot of people don't have CrawlIQ. He said, that's unnecessary, that you have to have it if you're a marketer. So go ahead and fill in the blanks for us. Why is it that people have to have your tool? Don't tell me salesy. I want you to tell me exactly the reason why this is going to give me a competitive edge if I'm a marketer or if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm just starting out.
Right. So every marketer, entrepreneur, business person need to talk directly to their audience, right? And not via search engine or not via third-party agencies. But every marketer need to understand who are their target audience. And this is the only tool in the market right now which allows you to deep dive into your audience, into their roadblocks, suspicions, desires, dreams. And it collects the data very intelligently from every place that you can imagine and bundle it into an internal AI or artificial intelligence. And it's kind of tool where you really want to have it at first step, because most of the people right now struggling in the market because of the extreme competition about content is really identify who is your audience. And this is the starting point of any content creation. You might have different tools like Market News, Jarvis, Trace, but the starting point is who is your ideal target audience. And the way you used to do it in the old way is through questionnaires, surveys, hiring expensive marketing agencies, or hiring research. But this tool replaces all these old methods using a new way.
So let's stop right there. So what you're saying, right? Because I've reviewed a lot of AI tools, writing AI tools on my show. I own a lot. All the top ones out there, I own them all. I own Closer Copy. I own Writers Inn, I own Copysmith, I own every single one you can think of, I own, but none of them have what you have. And that was a disappointing part about me. I'm like, does people know that what this tool actually does? And so what you're saying is hey, my tool, all the people you needed in the back to help you research who is your target market, my tool actually does that. And I was having a discussion with one of my friends the other day, and I says, give me 1 second. So why does can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
yeah. So what I was thinking was, my friends the other day, we had this discussion, and it was like, do people actually know the cost of as advertising is going up, especially in Facebook, right? But do people actually know that if they could drill down their perfect customer, their actually cost per acquisition goes down? And I think people say, oh, I just want to search for people that live here and they make between, 50,000 and 100,000, when it's really actually more to it than that. And it's a science. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I think this is where I wanted to go with this conversation. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about how your tool drills down that.
Right. So most of the people in the market, they are pursuing this either with the demographics, company size, or with the keywords. But things have changed. The Google is no more a search engine answering machine, right? People believe in stories. People believe in conversation. Marketing has shift altogether. So you need to take a psychographic approach. You need to understand deeply their pain points, roadblocks, desires, suspicions. And this tool especially collect all this data in the background once you start with some seed keyword, and it trigger the artificial intelligence, not like replicating their GPT playground like other tools do. So
I see.
It's not like you put one keyword and then it starts speeding the content. You really structurally collect some initial information about one single person, and then
so
you
go
abstract
ahead.
them.
Go ahead. Yeah. So really, there's two components, right? When I was learning marketing and I was getting my marketing degree, most of it is psychology, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
I was in a marketing. I was getting a marketing major, and 85% of the classes was psychology, right? It's like understanding buyer behavior, right? Why would a person buy this, right? Why do they have certain people playing in certain characters, and they're trying to sell a certain product? And a lot of that is the psychographics. This is the part that people are not getting. So there's two parts. There's demographics and there's psychographics, right? And
yes,
like when I'm watching TV, I'm watching a certain channel. My wife likes to watch BET, is what we call it here in the United States, Black Entertainment Television, right? Yeah. Which it's the owners, not the new owners are not African American, but they serve up African American content. And all the commercials I see on there are all, whether it's doing McDonald's or anything else, they're all using these African American characters, right? And so those are that's the demographics, but the psychographics is some of the things that they're playing, depending on what the content of the show is. These type of commercials will air better over this type of show because these type of people are watching that. So this is very important. And I think you're onto something. I'm going to let you finish here, but what I'm trying to figure out is, why don't people know that there's these two components? Because I have AI writers and it says, oh, well, you want to write about, a new pair of tennis shoes. Okay. So who are you catering them to? Right. And the psychographics piece is being left out, even when you're targeting in the back end for when you're trying to put together a custom audience for Facebook. If you can get the psychographics, you can really reduce your costs. So go ahead and finish on that psychographics part for us.
Right. I want to start with one single key insight. So when I call niche, and I have twisted this definition, but when I call niche, then I'm calling about one person, one target audience, and I'm combining the business idea. So this person is the center stage along with this business idea. So in the market, you have problem, and as a business owner, we have the solution. So we are operating in a sort of problem and solution space. And when I say niche, for me, niche is not the business idea. For me, niche is a person who is having real life desires, dreams, suspicion, right? And I combine this person with this business idea. So niche in complete totality, you see, it's the person, and the person should be the center stage when we create content, and not the business idea. So a pair of socks or any business idea you start, every tool start with this keyword topic. No, we have to start with the person first, and then associate
Ah,
the business idea with this. So then we combine this problem and solution space together. And that's what CrawlQ differentiate from rest of the tool, because we really start on the person, identify that person who has sort of fears.
so really you're
Yeah,
identifying the pain point. You're identifying that particular person with the pain point, right?
yes,
And if they have that pain point, and when that pain point links up with your particular solution, they're going to pull out their credit card every single time.
right. And
Because the
yeah,
pain point triggers emotion, and
right.
it makes them pull out their credit card every single time for a purchase. But let me ask you this question. I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Let me ask you this question. Why don't marketers know that? Is it because this is a new generation of marketers and a lot of them didn't really go to school and learn the psychology behind it? And I don't want to disgrade them and think any different. What I want to understand is, why don't they understand that their cost per click or their cost plus conversion will go down the more minute, the more niche down that they figure out who that person is on the other end first? Why? Why do you think they don't? Why do you think they don't know that? I know but that's why your tool was so attractive to me. But
Right.
why don't you think they know that?
I mean, this whole idea behind marketing is driven by a big company like search engine Google, and they set the games, and everyone is blindly following the game. But still, the fundamental idea, if you see, is finding the sweet spot, and this is very, very fundamental for this idea, right? You wanted to find a sweet spot, and I call this interaction between your skills, what you can offer as a solution, and what your target audience are looking for. So once you identify that sweet spot, right, that is the most important thing, and then you work around about topics, keywords, everything around this, because a lot of business people are struggling to identify that sweet spot between what they can offer and what people are looking for. And that's for me this important problem that CrawlQ solves, to identify your sweet spot. And many of the marketers, they are not tackling this problem from the point of view of identifying sweet spot. They are just blindly following the rules of the search
The
engine.
status quo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know, I got it right. I figured it out. The reason why. Because it's more difficult. It's harder to do. This is what I'll say, and even experiencing it myself, is it's easier for me to do what everyone else is doing,
Yeah.
but I spend more money that way versus, let me take the time first. Let me study my exact person on the other end. And once I find them, and I when I talk to my clients, right, and I think I shared this in one of my classes that I taught that I have available. I think it's the 6 degrees of conversions. I can't remember, but what I share with people, and I don't want to know if you agree with me on this. You should be able to pick your target niche down customer out in a lineup. So you know how they have the police lineups?
Yeah.
You know, these are people standing up. All right, turn to the side, whatever. If they have that police lineup of 100 people, you should be able, out of those 100 people, you should be able to find that one person who is your target. Does that sound crazy, or is that I'm actually right? Does that sound crazy?
No. And irony is that marketing guru, everyone is telling to niche down, identify one single person, but no one is telling how. And this
Right.
is kind of the piece of puzzle that CrawlQ tried to solve by starting with one single person and then trying to extract the information and collect the information in such a way that you create a statistically significant number of abstract version of your avatar from one person. And that's your niche where you identify the sweet spot. And now the way we structure this is following, of course, step-by-step idea. But for people, it's overwhelming. And this is exactly the reason you mentioned before, because it's just challenging them, their traditional way of doing things. It's
Right.
not because my tool is overwhelming. It's because their mindset is getting overwhelming because they're challenged to think in different way. And this is exactly the perception I want to address in the market. Everyone says CrawlQ is overwhelming. Tool is not overwhelming. It's your mindset is getting challenged to think in a different way from traditional
Well,
way.
we want it fast. We want it quick, right? A lot of these tools are giving it to us fast. They're giving it to us quick, right? If you use some of these other tools out here, say you use a tool like PepperType, right? And I always use all the tools that I talk about. So a tool like PepperType, you can put in one word, and because it's good for short type, right? It's good for short form. You can put in one word or try to rewrite a sentence, and it'll give you like 5 or 6, 7 different variations of that sentence. To me, that's instant. I copy, I paste it, and add it to my copy I'm trying to use it for. CrawlIQ is like, no, you're just not going to be able to sit down and do this. And one of the other things I want to talk about is once you start feeding CrawlIQ, it's almost like a machine. Once you start feeding it on one end, it becomes more intelligent on the other end. Is that correct? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it takes some seed ideas. Now we have evolved a lot. So initially there were a lot of inputs were required, but now just 5 or 6 inputs, and it create from 5 or 6 input, it create hundreds of questions, it answer like thousands of questions about your business. So it takes some critical idea, business critical information, and then expand on that. But touching upon your remark before, I want to address this, and actually this is a really good platform to address this. Lot of people are having this misunderstanding about artificial intelligence, that use case of artificial intelligence is to do things quick. I agree. That's where you wanted to see that we wanted to save time and do things quick.
Right.
On the other hand, you can also use artificial intelligence to improve the quality of the content, quality of what you do as a business, quality may generate insights, dig gold, which you will pay into mastermind classes thousands of dollars to get that kind of gold, right? I am using artificial intelligence to get that mastermind level of gold digging. I am using artificial intelligence to improve quality at this, and I understand time is essence, but you can see it's like perception about how people see artificial intelligence software. They want to just tell it something and wanted to quickly solve it. But artificial intelligence can also be used to improve the quality. And that's where CrawlQ stand out, because it gives you the quality of your content, highly personalized to your target audience. It needs some setup, but it's a machine. It's like a customized content generation engine, right? You set it once and it do work for you time and again. You don't need to remember all the pain points again and again. It just, I mean, you will hire $10,000 per month consultant to build something customized for your company, right? And this is what exactly CrawlQ do. It customizes the whole content creation just for you, for your own company, and you can just rinse and repeat this process. So what I want to say, the artificial intelligence is not only to gain something quick, but use case of artificial intelligence is also to improve quality. And that's what CrawlQ stand for, like 100% unique, personalized content, your custom content generation.
Now, let me tell you this. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? Because
sure. Go ahead.
I'm honest. When I first got your tool, I was like, oh my God, this is too much, right? I'm drinking from a fire hose, right? I literally like, oh my, but then when I slowed it down, because every tool I have is quick, fast. Time is money. But I got your tools like, no. Slow down. And here's what I will say, and I will honestly admit, I have never seen anything like that. When the data it was spitting back to me, I was like, oh, I never thought that this person could actually be thinking about this. Why didn't I think about that? I didn't drill down to this. Now I know this. I'm school learned. I have the academia behind me. We talked about it in all the textbooks. They talk about the psychographics. They talk about buyer behavior. Why would a person pull out their credit card for this, but they won't pull it out for that? Why does a person like a sale, or why does a person like a perceived sale versus just like, and there's tendencies. And when I started drilling down and I started using your tool more, I was like, this is magical. And I said, I got to get him on a call. But what I need you to let people know is you've did some changes, right? You and your team went back. He says, hey, listen, we want to kind of get this tool in the hands of a lot of people. So kind of tell me some of your thought process in going into saying, hey, you know what? Let's try this up. Let's change this up a little bit. So tell me about some of the changes you guys have made, which I applaud you guys for listening, but tell me about some of the changes that you guys have made on your way to trying to get this into everyone's hands.
Right. Great question again. So I really try to address the other part of the time is essence and reduce the time, right? So now we have built a whole marketplace, and we have come up with many niches, like really micro niches, which are in demand. So it's a marketplace. You can just clone the whole research. You can tweak some parameters and you're ready to go. So it's just like as simple as like going on the Canva, copying a template, changing it, and then you're ready to go. So this is what we have done, and it's really, really game changing, because many people would like to just have a template. They wanted to change something, and then they can do the A/B testing or make some changes. Also,
you have these recipes. I'm assuming I'm gonna use the term recipes because I know some of the other AIs are using. Hey, we already kind of got this pre-built recipe. You can take it off the shelf. You can add water. You can take away. You can add a little seasoning, and it's going to get you. It's going to at least get you a lot. It's going to get you to your destination a lot faster. So I applaud that. That's good. All right. So what else is going on? You were going to finish something. Go ahead.
Yes, and then of course price point, because we wanted to have this reach to everyone. We really like that this tool should be in hands of everyone who are also using the tools like Market News, Phrase, Jarvis, because if they can use CrawlQ before they will use Jarvis, Market News, Phrase, or any other tool that you mentioned, they can get much, much more out from their monthly subscription from this tool, because then they are going to very sharp the output of CrawlQ that they can input as a research to this tool. Then they will leverage everything that they have purchased, right? So that's the reason I want to come out and tell everyone that try CrawlQ, get some insights, go beyond keywords, get that the customer avatar that you really wanted to target. And that's why we have reduced the price point. Now everyone can enter into it just paying $19.95. So $19.95.
Well, let's stop there. So you guys, and I applaud that. You guys are on for, you're onto something. You're onto something. So you've dropped the price to 19. You said, listen, for $19.95, and to me, I think that's a steal for what they're getting in return for what your business can do for you. You said, listen, we want you to try it out, because by the time you finish using this a couple of times at the $19.95, you're going to see that it's going to be that much more in demand, and they may even increase their tiers because they're going to want more out of it. What I would tell you in a way I would use that, because I'm an entrepreneur, that's what I do, right? I would get the tool. I would try it out. Do you guys have a free trial?
Yeah, we have free trial also.
Okay, so what is it? 14-day, 30-day? What is it?
7 days free trial.
7 days. So 7-day free trial. Yeah. So a person gets that, try it out for 7 days, use it for their own services, test it out a little bit. Hey, let's go past the trial. I'll give them $20. I'll give them 30. I mean, I'll give them $40, maybe 2 months. Yeah. Once they see what it's producing, now as an agency, they can put themselves out there to try to produce better quality, or they can put themselves out there as an expert, and they can say, hey, this is what we do differently, right? They don't have to get into the tool. They say, this is what we do differently. This is what others do, and this is what we do differently. So now they can move up to one of your higher tiers. They can now start producing this very solid output for somebody else. They could write better copy for themselves, speaking to the pain points. So that's one. They're winning. They're getting more customers. They're getting a better cost per click on their stuff. Now they're getting better quality clients. those clients are willing to pay a little bit more, they can actually win. This is a win-win. I love that. I love the fact that you made at least an entry point. Did you want to share anything else on that?
Yeah, you touched the point on agencies, and I really want to say this: use ROI for agencies. Let me tell you how. Because CrawlQ allows you to have a smooth onboarding of your client. Like if you are agency business owner, you know how difficult it is to onboard a client, understand their requirement.
Very hard.
Let's suppose today you're creating a website for a restaurant, hypothetically, right? Now it's very difficult to understand what this person wants from this website. And you will make some assumptions, you will deliver something, and then clicks are not happening. Customer is saying, no, you did a mess of my business because your website is not working. CrawlQ allows you to systematically gather initial requirement for your clients and then create a system where your team, your virtual assistant or content creators can continuously churn the content and repeat and rinse it. And then this way, you're going to serve this restaurant owner continuously. So your retention is high, your onboarding is quicker, and you can have multiple onboardings and you can
this is crazy.
Replicate, right? So
this is crazy. ROI is this. I can't believe this, right? And I'm not just saying that, right? I already know how good your tool is, but I can't believe what you're telling me. You're saying the way you have it set up is they can onboard it and makes everything. So really, I would think, right? And there's, again, I always talk about Chris because Chris and I, we talk all the time. We talked about how a service like this could easily command $2,500 to $3,500 just for onboarding, right? Just for $2,500 to $3,500 just for onboarding and the content, the quality you're putting out. Nobody's saying you can't stop using the AI writers you're using. Yours does have an AI writer in it, but we're saying, hey, what you like about those tools. We're just saying, hey, find out who you're writing to first. And I had a client conversation today, and she says, well, I want to get on Google and I want to listen. You can't just roll out of bed and hop into Google space, right? Because that's just like someone getting into a little small boat and they're taking you out to the Pacific Ocean. They says, all right, swim back to the shore. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's a big area. Now, a good person that will micro niche it down, get the exact person, get the target person, find a person in a lineup and be in a lake that they can know exactly what they're shooting for, because that's going to give the best return for them. And if I could show a client that, if I can show a potential client that and say, hey, listen, this is the way we do it. We don't do it this way. We find that ideal client first, because if we can trigger emotion, you know this, I know this, right? All the software I buy and all that. If I can trigger emotion, there are software tools that I see that trigger emotion. I have no problem pulling out my credit card. That's just because it fits that need for me. So anything else you want to kind of wrap up with? And so you guys have a low price point now. You have these little, I'll call them recipes, right? I don't know what they are, but these recipes or templates, right? That's a new term, recipes. But you have these already pre-written recipes, with pre-written terms. And then I think you guys do have on your high end, you do have a full-blown agency plan. We're not going to talk about that right now, but you can definitely grow and scale into an agency once you start getting the demand and clients start paying you big time. Is there anything else you want to share about this?
So we are also coming with certified CrawlQ consultant certification. So anyone who invests, sometime we want to really reward that person. And once that person sort of pass in kind of initial exam or certificate, then they have the exclusive rights to white label, to work with specific clients, and they gain more understanding of how this tool work, and they can exclusively market in their niches. So this is one another update. And of course, the marketplace that I talked will evolve, because we are creating supply now for the specific micro niches. At some point of time, our users will also be able to monetize this. So you being on the platform as a user will be able to generate your own micro niche and see if there is someone who is willing to buy that research. So you can trade the content item. So it's going to evolve in a further stage.
whoa, and here's what I can appreciate, right? And I was having this conversation with one of my clients earlier and this is and this is the message I'm putting out there to anyone listening, maybe even you, maybe you need to hear this, but based on what you're saying, I don't know if you need to hear this, but I said this exact same thing today. The competition is getting so stiff for every industry that if a person is willing to pay you a monthly fee, right, or monthly recurring revenue, you have to add value. You have to continue to add value to those people who are paying you on a monthly recurring revenue. I just had this conversation with someone that you can't just get the monthly recurring revenue and then sit down. I finally get in. No, you need to constantly be adding value. What can we do different? You telling me this, you got the marketplace, right? I'm going to be writing one for real estate. I wrote one for retirement last time. It's one of my businesses. I have another one on real estate. That's the business I'm growing a lot more this year. The retirement one it's off and it's running due to your tool. I was able to find some of the right people, and now that monthly recurring is moving in the direction I wanted to move in. Now I'm pulling back the layers, and I'm now going to drill down on my real estate needs. You're saying if I write one, do all the research in real estate that I want to do, I can now take my research and then sell it in the marketplace. And then for those who want to use my recipe, I'll get a little something back on that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
man.
Or you might figure out an idea that is worth of billions of investment, but you don't have maybe resources or things, but you can sell this idea to other and quickly monetize it. And then you can work on another idea. So this idea origination, idea validation, and for the willing participants on the platform, they can trade this idea, right? And that's powerful. You can also buy content. So once you have this workspace going on, it's getting more popular demand. 3D printing, roof repairs, plastic surgeon. I'm talking about high ticket. I'm not talking about general like sort of dog training, or I'm really talking about those dense micro specific niches where there is a lot of demand for innovative services, innovative ideas. So you can drill down using CrawlQ, get that idea originated, differentiated, and create a demand for this idea in the environment, right?
So essentially, right? This is me because I got all these streams of revenue. I'm doing stuff over here, and I got stuff going on, and I could actually create a new business out of this.
Yes,
that exactly. I'm just writing. Like I'm not a surgeon, but I could do some study or something I have a close area in, and I can just start writing recipes or formulas around that particular, and then just selling that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Because
wow.
when you interact with the idea, some creative juice might be flowing in your brain. You just seed this creative juice, and then rest of the work will be done by artificial intelligence to synthesize your idea and bring insights, dig some gold which you never thought of, right?
Wow.
And this you can then put into a research, and then this research is also you can create some fantastic content, and the content along with the research you can create a demand for this, and people might be buying. So you heard this media buying thing, right? Yeah. Media buying can start on this platform very soon because
listen, I'm applauding you because this is from the last time we talked. It may have been, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 months ago, probably around 6 months ago, earlier this summer, something like that. You're on to something, and I appreciate you always trying to look. And that's one thing I noticed about you. There's a couple other founders out there as well. You guys are always trying to look and say, hey, how can we get better? How can we get better? How can we get better? And you're one of those founders, so I can appreciate that. Listen, if you guys want to take a look, test drive this tool and drive it around the corner, whatever, there should be a link in the description. You'll be able to do that for $20, for a $20 investment that can possibly change your life. And here's what I'll also say, and I will go out on a limb and say this is part of my reputation as well, but I really believe you could leapfrog some competitors out there. There's somebody that's killing it right there in your niche. It's like, man, look at their content. Look at the content. If you're trying to get where they're at, if you go into one of the SERP analysis, you said this guy's stuff is always ranking good. This person's stuff, you can actually, to me, I always say that's my goal. I want to catch up to them and I want to pass them. To me, if I'm a content creator, that is my goal. I am trying to pass that person who's number one. And if I don't, I'm gonna become a better writer. Maybe even for not that niche, like, man, he's got it nailed down. I can't catch him, right? But there's another niche that's closer, that's more demand, and I could even become number one in that niche. That's the way I think. I roll out of bed. It's the way I'm thinking. So listen, man, this has been fantastic. Again, if you guys are going on, take a look at it, test drive it. You can, there's a link in the description here. Listen, thank you, sir. Thank you, Harish. I just want to make sure I get it right.
Yes, you're right.
Harish Kumar. Harish Kumar.
Yes.
Thank you. CrawlIQ. Thank you for joining me today. Is there any last words that you want to share with the audience or anybody that may be viewing or listening to this? You guys got to test drive this. You got to see. When I saw it, when we went through it, and I think you spent some time with me too. And I was like, oh my God. All I kept saying was OMG, OMG. I just kept saying that because I couldn't believe it. Because I had the tool and I was like, man, this tool has got so much in it. I'm drinking from a fire hose. He says, no, what you have to do is start out with a little small drip, then this. And then he said, then you let the machine do some of this work for you. Then you let the artificial intelligence do the work for you. Next thing you know, I'm looking like an expert, right? So is there anything you want to share as we close out here today?
Oh, I really wanted to appreciate your time on this, and also everyone who is listening this. This is key because we are having very competitive environment right now. So keyword alone, topic alone, will not going to solve the problem. We need to really drill down deep into our target audience. And here's the thing. So if you start with the target audience, your conversion focused from the day one, right? So we learned this traffic strategy. We should bring traffic and conversion. And what if you're carrying leaky bucket, funnels are not working, a lot of things are going on there. Then again, you need to repair your funnel. But imagine that you can find that perfect sweet spot. And from day one, you can focus on conversion strategy. Then you don't need thousands of people. You need 100 people that visit your website. And out of 100, if 5 people convert, then you're into the right business, right? So this tool help you to stay focused on the conversion on your target audience and build the funnel, the foundation, which is not leaky and which don't you have to worry all the time to repair it, because you build a very, very strong foundation from day one and not just blindly focusing on traffic, but on the conversion and conversation that matters to your audience.
Wow. That's a mouthful. I appreciate it. I knew it was a reason because we were playing phone tag. We were trying to catch you. He says, oh man, I'm 12 hours different. I'm like, man, I'm just waking up. You're like, hey, I'm just going to sleep. We finally had an opportunity to connect. I am so glad we did. This is good news for everyone. Price is lowered. You're getting a better tool. They want more people to experience their tool. I'm excited for you guys. I can't wait to see where the future goes. What I'm going to do is I want to probably circle back with you probably in the next 3 to 6 months and try to see how it has evolved, how the marketplace has evolved. You know me, I'm always looking for another stream of revenue. So I'm going to probably throw my name in a hat and try to see who's going to be purchasing my recipes. And I want to become good. So I'm going to try to look at your certification program because I'm always looking for an edge, right? Everybody to me right now, everybody can coach. Oh, I can coach. I'm a coach. I'm like, dude, you're like 12 years old. I know, but I'm a coach. I'm like, everybody's coaching now, right? It's like, but who really knows what they're doing? Everybody can buy a tool. Everybody can buy a Jarvis. Everybody can buy a closer copy, but who can get that key person locked in to increase conversion rates? This is that tool, CrawlIQ. Listen, it has been a pleasure to meet with you. I know you're out there on the sunny beaches out there. I'm out here. It's raining, but I'm here. So I'm glad we had an opportunity to connect. Listen, thank you again. If anybody's out there looking for CrawlIQ, I'm going to have a link below. You can have an opportunity to look at that, test drive it out. You will not be disappointed. Listen, this has been Jenny Jones, your host at Digital Growth Hacks Club. I'm so excited. I had this opportunity to sit down with this gentleman, this fine founder. If you get an opportunity, take a look, take a visit, test drive it out. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the tool. Hey, this is Jenny Jones. You guys take care. Be safe. Everybody have a good holidays. Take care.
Thank
Goodbye
you for
now.
joining us here
Thank you. Bye-bye.
on the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Please do not forget to subscribe and share. And until next time, goodbye for now.